Okay, thank you very much. My name is Elisha Akech Ochungo from Kenya. I will be presenting under the topic linear infrastructure in and around the Nairobi National Park with the aim of reducing wildlife deaths.
Excuse me 1 second. Sorry. Are you able to put the slides like on presenter mode? We can just see like the outline, like the whole screen.
Pardon?
Are you able to like present the slides so that they're on like full screen, or is it just working that way? On our screen,
Yes.
we see like all of PowerPoint. There you go. Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So Nairobi National Park is probably the only national park within a city in the world. It started way back in the early 1940s, so it has been there for more than 7 decades. And because of the increase in population, the demand that accompany the population pressure of development in terms of transportation and other utility infrastructure, which ordinarily in engineering and ecology are called linear, have had tremendous effects on the welfare of the animals. So there are this infrastructure crossing the national park within and without. So this study was meant to bring to the fore some of the impacts, and the study used previous ecological assessments by wildlife conservationists over the years. In Kenya, we have had the animal lovers who have really done research on the kills. The kills could either be based on the pollution, the ecological effects, or accidents like vehicle-wildlife conflicts, human-wildlife conflicts, and these have serious effects on decreasing the population of the various species. As a matter of fact, it has been documented that Nairobi National Park is a home to over 100 species. And there is a fear that if nothing is done in terms of policy, then we are likely to lose the heritage, the natural heritage that our country, Kenya, prides herself in. So as you can see in the background on the left, we have the city skyline dotted with high-rise buildings, and you can see one of the big five, the giraffes, within the Nairobi National Park. In the middle, we can see another big five, the lion, just walking on a freshly graded road, and below we can see the shrubs. And within this, we have very many animals living here. So in a schematic presentation, we have the species and their traits, and they are facing threats in terms of death. And these deaths are emanating from the impact of climate change, the ecological trap which come with the crossings of this linear infrastructure, either on the terrestrial surface or on the skyline by way of power lines, or we have even pipelines which are buried. We also have maladaptation because these animals, when you introduce this new infrastructure which disrupt their way of life, some of them may take long to adapt, and so they may lose their lives. But greatest of all, because of the city influence, is the pollution from microplastics. As we know, the whole world is facing this challenge, and the vehicles' tailpipe emission, especially the nitrogen-based pollution effects. So this research really was focused on the effect of linear infrastructure, which bring to the fore the ecological trap, and we are going to see what this means. So the solution that we were looking at to develop a policy problem in context that will be backed up by manual for development in the controlled areas, and producing standards and protocols to guide engineers, ecologists, and all stakeholders involved in infrastructure development. So if you see to the left diagram, recently in our country, there was a crossing by the standard gauge railway, which is elevated almost 20 meters above the ground, and these animals appear to be strapped, and it's not just the conservationists, even the media people are concerned, one of which in our nation here, Kenya, we have a circulation with the wide coverage called the Nation Media Group. One of the articles that came up had a title, "The Death of Nairobi National Park, Why Wildlife Risks Being Wiped Out." Of course, this is a concern for all of us, because when we see these animals getting trapped, more so we can equate to somebody who has just landed in a foreign land and has no direction. And as humans, we have a responsibility to make sure these animals are taken care of. And so the proposal on this research was the more like taking the form of the predecessor presenter from Costa Rica, where we were proposing environmental safeguard planning for linear infrastructure in and around the parks, in so to speak, that within the alignments of the linear infrastructure, an audit needs to be done so that the animals species are mapped out and the ecological needs, so that a proper planning is put in place, either by crossings with overpass, underpass, or whatever facility that could protect their welfare. And this should be anchored under a policy which is going to safeguard the welfare of the animals. So this paper was meant to excite our thinking as engineers and ecologists, that we develop with the welfare of animals in the park being taken care of, so that we have sustainable life. Thank you very much.
Does anyone have questions for Elisha? Michelle? Concerns about poaching? The question is, do you have concerns about poaching with the road access?
Thank you very much. Specifically for the Nairobi National Park, it is fenced, and just a little more detail which I didn't mention. It headquarters our wildlife service body, so it's highly protected because of the high population within the city. So the incidences of poaching is, I can say, a little reduced. However, because of the high rate of urbanization, the space for animals is getting reduced and the migration corridors were already closed. As we present this here, the government is considering opening up the closed migration corridors so that the animals can have free movements into more food space. However, there is a proper arrangement to safeguard against poaching. Thank you.
Thank you so much.